Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. Folks, we're on Fitness Friday. It is always the best day of the week. Gotta love it. Folks, as I'm wrapping up this three-part marketing series here, before going on a brief summer hiatus, wanted to kick this episode off with a continuation of the communication that I continue to receive from LifeShare. So LifeShare, the blood donation organization, as I mentioned, on my 28th fitness anniversary, one of those three videos that I compiled for that particular episode highlighted the fact that I donated blood. And so they have been continuing to communicate with me. And so last Thursday, I received a text message. Gotta love iMessage. So see, I can check it out here on my iPad. And so it says, LifeShare, if we had just one extra, and one is in all caps, if we had just one extra donor at every blood drive, we would eliminate the risk of a blood shortage. Will you be the one? And the one is in all caps. Sign up today. And of course, there's that ubiquitous link to enter your zip code and all of that to donate blood. So folks, and it was just, it's a very interesting example, an unexpected example from a marketing standpoint, but they are all over that area. I notice whenever I'm in Louisiana visiting, they are all over the place. From a marketing standpoint, those mobile blood donation buses and shuttles and all that, it is just, I mean, they are very aggressive marketers, and it's interesting to kind of be on the back end after I've donated, after 28 years since 1994. With this particular organization, to see that marketing that just, wow. I mean, back in '94, I can't recall seeing any of this, like from a visual standpoint of them being all over town and the community partnerships and the strategic partnerships and all of that, but just had to highlight that as an example. So they want to continue to keep their blood supply strong, so they continue to ask. And so you want to continue to keep your membership, your revenue totals strong, continue to ask. That's just a wonderful case study. So folks, I have a little list here and I'm going to highlight some examples. And so wanted to kick off, let me just kick off here with another example for the continuing conversation, the continuing communication that encourages us to take action. So received this in the mail last Wednesday. And this is, of course, I can see it on the outside, NU, so Northwestern University Loyal. And so from the Alumni Relations and Development Office. And so here we go, little swag with a card. And so thank you for being NU Loyal. In recognition of your 5 consecutive years of giving to Northwestern University, please accept this silver lapel pin, yada yada. Not going to read the rest. But so, again, swag. This is a pin that you can certainly put on. But the reason why I wanted to highlight that one, and I know I've highlighted a number of examples over the years, but they, number one, continually converse with us, and I mean relentlessly. From a fundraising standpoint, I mean, this was not, I mean, let's just be honest, let's be real. This was not, sent to us just to be nice, whatever this and that. It was expensive for them to mail this, and also, of course, the production and all of that. This was an expensive endeavor, but they know. Particularly when you give someone something, whether it's swag, whether it's recognition or anything like that, it can certainly prompt action. And it certainly, in this particular case, prompted me to take action because I remembered and I said, oh, that's right. The end of the calendar year, particularly from a fundraising standpoint, ends on June 30th. So literally I made that donation before the deadline. And so next month, I'm sure I'll be receiving something else to encourage me to donate. But I just like to highlight Northwestern folks, and certainly other universities are exact same way, but they are relentless. They are relentless when it comes to asking, and that's why they have the fundraising. That's why they have the fundraising totals that they do. They ask. All right. So next, wanted to move on into some fitness examples here. And so I wrote this one down. I actually have a separate note. I mean, I'm always, writing different notes as I see different things. So YouTube, a company that I've certainly seen, you may have seen a lot of here. They've done a lot. Certainly, I've seen them in the YouTube space. And this particular YouTube ad appeared on June 20th. this year, 7:25 p.m. by Cool Sculpting. So they had a 30-second ad, and the theme of the ad was Cool Sculpting Takes You Further. So here we have another, and again, in the spirit of a panoramic view in 2022, I'm specifically striving to highlight entities, and you'll see some examples in this episode that I typically wouldn't highlight. And so this is an example of one. They operate within certainly the fitness ecosystem, and so where you have a company that helps people to achieve their goals in terms of how they look and what they can do to further enhance what people have going on in terms of their body and fat percentages and all of that. And so next, and bear with me because I've saved a lot of these in my email, and so I'm going to be navigating back and forth here. And so have an example here is my mail app loads up. So Crunch Fitness reached out, and certainly I've heard from them a number of times over the years, and they are back at it. So I look here and I don't have, give me a second. Here we go. Yes, and I've got a ton of emails, so I've got to decipher which one is which. And so with Crunch, so the title of this email, thanks for your patience, folks. I'm going to need your patience, particularly on this episode, because we could have a whole editing process where I'm highlighting these on the screen and all of this and that, but I made that decision a long time ago. Fitness Friday is free, and so I just can't spend all of that time doing all of that. And I want to keep this accessible to whomever, and I'm not commercializing. That was a decision I made early on. I'm not commercializing Fitness Friday, so there's some give and take there. So I appreciate your patience as I navigate through these type of things. And so receive this email. So this would have been on, because it came to my Gmail account. The title of this email: Ready to Rev Up Your Summer. And so this appeared last Thursday, 1:29 p.m. And so the title and the content, and so they've got this Tesla here. If you recall last summer, I highlighted their Supercharger Summer promotion. And so this is very, very similar. But this year they've changed the wording here. They've changed the branding a little bit. And so it's entitled Rev Up and Ride Sweepstakes. Power up your workout for the chance to win a Tesla Model 3 or $46,000 in cash. Enter today at revupandride.com. And it says, plus, we're giving away 2 Samsung 4K TVs and 5 $150 Gymshark gift cards. Enter for a chance to win a Tesla Model 3. Click here. In the interest of time, not going to go through all of that, but that's what we essentially see is a continuation of that ad, or reemergence of that summer promotion that they had last year. And so wanted to highlight that. And so I do hear from Crunch from time to time via email, but I'm certainly wanted to mention those folks as well. And so want to mention here, I screenshotted some ads that I saw on Nextdoor, posts and ads on Nextdoor. So the next few are from Nextdoor. You've heard me mention Nextdoor. I think I mentioned it more in the last marketing series, and certainly last fall / towards the end of last year. Nextdoor being essentially what some have called the Facebook of just a very hyper local community type of website where neighbors can chat with neighbors, and they have it segmented based on subdivision and cities and all of this and that. And so one thing I mentioned, certainly from a fitness standpoint, you're talking about marketing investment and return on investment, and you see from a fitness standpoint, you will see whether it's trainers posting individually about their own kind of home gyms or the training services that they provide as regular post, meaning non-paid or free post. All right, and then you actually have some entities setting this fitness together that pay, for advertising. So they have formal advertising on there. So I personally, and again, this is based on my own, where I'm located here in our Metro Detroit area, have not seen just overwhelmingly a lot of fitness advertising in this particular space. But as I stated before, you have to plan, you have to be strategic and think about where are we investing our money, where are we spending our money, where is going to give us the best return on our investment. But it's always good to see fitness posts here, and I like to highlight those as well. Again, highlighting different things that I wouldn't typically cover in Nextdoor is certainly one of those. But it's, I don't spend time on social media. I don't have any traditional social media accounts, except for this one, for my my actual page here, Facebook page, a Facebook business page. But Nextdoor, I'm not active, but I'm on there about once or twice a week. If something relevant or something, something of interest, I'm on there. But I don't have traditional social media, but I'm on Nextdoor. So I'll notice these type of things. And so you have to keep that in mind from a marketing standpoint. When I give examples, again, there's certain traditional TV advertising that I'm not going to see because I don't watch traditional TV. I don't have cable. I have Fire Stick. And so if my TV's on 99% of the time, it is on YouTube, or, and I would say the other 1%, it's on Amazon Prime. It used to be actually flipped, but YouTube, I love YouTube. Just so many lectures, and it's just wonderful educational content, documentaries. I love it. And so Nextdoor, here we go. So Tammy Warren posted this on June 16th, 2022 at 1:02 p.m. So Tammy Warren from the Birch Park area, or subdivision, neighborhood. And so this is what it says. And she's got a lady, got a graphic there of a lady in a yoga pose. Yoga is back in Wixom, Wednesday from 7 to 8 a.m., gentle morning stretch. New to yoga, perfect. Not flexible, perfect. Like training for any sport, our muscles need to be trained to stretch and relax. $10 per class. If interested, please send a message for more information. So here we go. Somebody reaching directly out to the population within certain subdivisions and neighborhoods and cities saying, hey, anybody interested in yoga? $10 a class. So we've got a personal yoga instructor making her thing happen here on Nextdoor. And before I move on to the next part where I'm going to highlight a specific ad, a formal ad from Fitness Together here on Nextdoor that appeared, forgot to give my disclaimer. I'm not endorsing any of these entities, people, organizations, businesses. These are merely examples, as always, here on Fitness Friday, particularly during these marketing episodes. So we have Fitness Together ad, which appeared June 16th, 2022 at 12:17 p.m. And I'm have it a screenshot here, and so they've got a lengthy ad. I'm going to read it, and it goes on to state 8-week summer experience, and there's 5 gold stars behind it. Over 400 plus 5-star reviews. Can't be wrong. Searching for the accountability and expertise that personal training offers to help drop those unwanted pounds, get toned, and add muscle definition? Here's a chance to grab a guest pass and try a session out in our private, distraction-free fitness studio right around the corner from you. We offer different training packages with cardio, nutrition, and corrective programming. Redeem this guest pass to learn more about how we can work with you. Smiley face emoji. If better health, fitness, energy, and longevity are what you're after. And there's an emoji with the finger pointing this way. For a no obligation free personal training session, click sign up for this summer's special offer. New clients only while appointment slots are available. And so they've got the number there. And so, there it is. There it is. And so that is Fitness Together. I have seen them, and they've been pretty consistent. So from time to time, you'll see a Fitness Together ad, and that's where they're highlighting what they have to offer. And I would also argue, because they typically advertise there, and there's not a lot of marketing investment as far as Nextdoor in terms of my community in my area. I consider them unguarded. So this type of promotion in terms of what they're doing, we think about the basketball analogy, and I go back to the example that my dad gave me several years ago. We were practicing basketball, and I was shooting hoops, and I said, oh, this is so easy. And by the way, basketball is not my sport. And so this is so easy, and he made such a powerful point that I've highlighted on these Fitness Fridays, but just in general, certainly from a training standpoint. And he said it's easy because there's no one guarding you. Now, I'm 5'7", my dad is 6'2". And he was being easy on me, but think about that point. And so this is unguarded. This is unguarded. So here they are, not a lot happening as far as in our area from a marketing standpoint in terms of, promoting these type of services. So they are able to get some clients based on what their needs are, and there's not a lot of competition, for share of voice is what it's typically called in marketing circles. So wanted to highlight that. And let's see, next we've got another Fitness Together ad that it was a static ad, meaning no video, no in terms of, for broadcasting video. And so it was a static ad that appeared June 15th, 2022 at 8:50 p.m. And so it's just highlighting one-on-one. You can see it's really small. I'm trying to enlarge it on my iPad, but just highlights one-on-one training, one-on-one custom training. Trained for personal training in Novi for 20 years. Real people, real life transformations. And then it has the little yellow box with ad, fitnesstogether.com. Oh, pardon me. That's trusted for personal training in Novi for 20 years. So there you go. And they've got the contact us link. You just click on it. And so they are advertising there in the YouTube space. And another example that I wanted to give you from YouTube, again, in the spirit of a panoramic view in 2022, we have a lady named Karen Gray with the designation behind her initials, capital CH/RN. So she had a static ad as well. And so I captured this on June 1st at 7:02 p.m. And so Karen here is a hypnotherapist. Karen is a hypnotherapist, and so she has great weight loss results. And so you click on, and it's called Green Mountain Hypnosis. And so her advertising, her formal ad actually has a clickable link that says, lose weight now, lose weight now. So that is not something I would typically, again, cover on a Fitness Friday from a marketing standpoint, but just she's operating in the fitness, weight loss, health, wellness ecosystem. So just wanted to highlight that. So you just have all types of individuals and entities operating in this particular space. And so it's always good to have examples of those who are doing their thing in this space, so to speak. And so next, I wanted to highlight tonal. Let's see if we can find. Now these came back a while. Here we go. And as I promised you last week, and actually the week before as well, I want to wrap up this marketing series to discuss tonal in quite a bit of detail, but I wanted to come back full circle and give you a couple of their member profiles. And so when you're on their email, when you're on their prospect list, you get these emails that come typically on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day. And so they have their email prospecting campaign. And so wanted to give you a couple of examples because as you've heard me mention here in the last couple of examples, as I just in terms of my deep dive research that I'm doing on tonal. I've done a number of these over the years. Certainly started out very early on in Fitness Friday. The very first entity I ever studied was Anytime Fitness, because they were rated, I believe that was 2015, the #1 global franchise for Entrepreneur Magazine. And so that just really got my attention that a fitness brand was in that #1 spot. But of course now, years later, I understand all of that and why, just their rapid global expansion, more than 4,000 clubs total, but it's a very replicatable concept, duplicatable concept globally, because it's a very simple concept, small storefront type location, very flat organizations in terms of headcount, 24-hour access where you don't have the electricity and all of those type things running constantly. So it's just a very interesting simplified business model, certainly from a fitness concept. And so started there, studied a number of entities over the years, and tonal is and I like to be challenged and just in general. And tonal is certainly a challenge because there's just so many moving parts. And so wanted to come back and just highlight a couple of these member profiles in terms of how I said that from a marketing standpoint, I see them going from elite to everyday, where they, from a marketing standpoint, highlighting elite athletes such as LeBron James and Serena Williams, who both are investors in Tonal. Always want to point that out. To just everyday individuals. And so I'm going to highlight a couple of everyday individuals. So when you think about from a target marketing standpoint, where are they going? Where has the shift happened? When did it start occurring? So that's why longitudinally I'm following this very, very closely. And just it's very, very fascinating to see. And it is a very interesting and challenging organization, certainly from a marketing standpoint. Just I'm learning a lot, and I will continue to do so. And so this came out on this email communication, May 20th, 2022 at 11:24 a.m. The title of it is, I don't think I'll ever go back to free weights. Again, just want to show you should be able to see her face and sitting there in front of a Tonal. And it says, Strength Made Me, Megan R., accident survivor and Tonal member. And so they've got a quote here that says, Tonal has allowed me to get back to that person I used to be. Megan persevered after a serious car accident. She found her rhythm in both her physical and mental strength with Tonal. And they've got a clickable link here that says read Megan's story. And when you click on that, it's a very detailed, long story that they do whenever they do member profiles. You can click and have a long, just a more detailed explanation of the person's background and kind of the circumstances of what happened, and then where they are now and with Tonal. And so there's another quote here as you scroll down, and it says, Tonal is the best. It's worth every penny. You're going to feel great. Under that, there's a button, try Tonal. And then the ad concludes, or the email concludes, with get the smartest home gym in your space for less than $63 per month, 48 months with 0% APR. And of course, there is the asterisk there. And this is why, last week when I was talking about just the challenge of their messaging that I heard and wrote that quote down amongst many other notes during their Tonal Summit Institute. It was a wonderful series of discussions and lectures during that particular online event. I certainly learned a lot, but that going back to that, just the goal of wanting to democratize access to personalized training. ... Now I'm going to go through the rest of the quote, and we just discussed last week about how tough that is. It's a very, very admirable. That's a very admirable goal, but it's very, very challenging, particularly when you're talking about a commercialized product or service and profit motives, and then democratizing something, where you have to charge. It's very, very, very challenging, and I think even at the bottom of all of their emails where they talk about the cost and the financing prospect and the fact that rates in terms of the APR, again, it's based on credit worthiness and people getting approved. And so again, as the talk about democratizing access to something where there's going to be a segment of the population that's inherently going to be disqualified based on their financial situation or the credit score. It's just a very, very tough and challenging situation. But like I said last week, I understand the spirit, certainly the spirit and the goal with which that is there. But wanted to just highlight that, from an access standpoint, it's just very, very challenging when you're talking about, again, a product that is commercialized, where you got revenue goals, profit targets. It's just a challenge because, the only way around that is to make it free. And a business or a corporation is going to be very reticent to do that on a grand scale. And so that is the first profile, and I wanted to highlight another profile. Yes, the breast cancer survivor. And so April 21st, 2022 at 6:06 p.m. And so this one is Deborah Galletti, powered by Tonal. And hers is Strength Made Me. Deborah Galletti, breast cancer survivor, and actually has her signature there. Strength is for everyone. Tonal member Deborah Galletti uses training to unleash her inner strength and be a total, here we go, I'm going to spell it out. I'm not a fan of profanity. BADASS. Tonal helps you to tap into the strength you always had so you too can be your strongest. Below that, read Deborah's story. So we have another picture of her with the tonal action shot. And below that, another quote, as you lift with tonal, you can see your stats in real time. You don't have that feedback when you go to the gym. All right, another action shot with her in front of a tonal. And so it says, don't wait for strength. There's no better time to start becoming your strongest than now. Let tonal learn from you and customize your training so you can get stronger faster. There's a call to action, clickable button, learn now. So there you go. That's a couple of member profiles, and they had profiles for LeBron James, Serena Williams, some other elite athletes earlier on this year. And certainly that's why I mentioned I can clearly see this evolution from elite to everyday. The elite athlete, professional athlete, all the way to the everyday individual person. So again, from a marketing standpoint, yes, you may have an elite athlete, and many brands certainly do this, where, again, there's that admiration factor of, oh, this person is awesome. And if they're using this and they think this is awesome, and in LeBron's case and Serena's case, they're investors in this company, it must be strong. I really want to give this a try, right? The power of these folks in these positions, product endorsements. Very, very commonly done and used across all types of industry. Thought leaders, in this particular case, elite athletes, because we're talking about, in this instance, fitness, but also sports performance, movement science. There's just a lot there, all the way to the everyday person. So again, you want to broaden your base in terms of potential members, potential customers. You start speaking, again, you see this evolution from the elite to the everyday, becoming more inclusive. So those are a couple of examples, and I want to give you a final example of tonal where they are raising their price. Bear with me here for a second. Like I told you, I've got so many emails. So they are raising their price. Now I know did I save this email, or did I actually, which I may have done. But yep, I think I actually put it in a folder, and it's going to take too much time because I've got it in Evernote. But you can go to the website, tonal.com, and you can find this information. But they sent out an email a week before last on a Saturday and said that the price of tonal is increasing. And so it is going to $3,495, per month, and that's just for the machine itself. There's a membership fee on top of that. There's shipping, there's installation, and then you've got to pay for the actual programming to be put on the device itself, or the machine itself. So they have a hefty price increase, and they stated that was based on, again, supply chain issues, like many different businesses and organizations is facing increased pricing. So they are passing their increased prices that they're experiencing on the manufacturing side and certainly fulfillment side onto the customer. So the new price is coming soon of $34.95. And so again, from a positioning standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from an access standpoint, in terms of who could potentially buy this product and service, with a $3,495 plus there's additional fees and all of that on top of that. It's going to be very interesting. That's why I'm just enjoying following this very closely and seeing where it's going, because that's the thing, folks. And so I'll end the episode with this. When you think about the 4 P's of marketing, just a fundamental aspect of marketing, 4 P's of marketing: product, price, placement or distribution is another way it's stated, and promotion. Now, in these marketing episodes, that's exactly, I hit that promotion. I'm showing you examples inside and outside the fitness industry, but I haven't spent a lot of time. I think I have just, on a more of a surface level, the pricing of a product or service, and how that is part of the 4 P's of marketing, is certainly the marketing mix, and how certainly higher prices, and there's a lot of market research that has shown that. You have luxury brands and premium brands that charge more, and there's a perception amongst consumers that there's more value there, and the less expensive something is. But so there's been a lot of research, and certainly there's been organizations that value-based organizations that have solid positioning and their pricing, that many entities from luxury all the way to value brands have increased their prices over the years. And then you have organizations where, even within the fitness space, where there are where there are membership tiers in terms of lower price all the way up to a higher price, to be more inclusive from a pricing standpoint. And particularly we think about today's economic challenges and headwinds, not only in this country but around the world, how in terms of targeting potential members, how having different price points can certainly be more favorable. You'll recall an episode that I did, I believe that was last fall or so, and it was downstairs in the lower level of Rachelle's Home Fitness Center. I remember talking about that. It was during a fitness trends or hot topics episode where I talked about how I had quoted a club industry, it was like a study or research, something like that, and it's absolutely true. Within the fitness industry, during this COVID pandemic, and or not, all right, what they called high value, low price fitness brands, again, in terms of facilities themselves, were poised, certainly during the pandemic, again, having that lower price point and certainly tiered pricing in some cases, being able to attract individuals despite some of the inflationary challenges and price increases that have been experienced by many. And so that I talked during that episode about the opportunity that existed within that particular segment, the high value, low price gyms and chains. The opportunity was certainly there and remains there. So you think about from a pricing standpoint, how more inclusive if you can have lower prices, particularly during challenging economic times. That's why, just kind of bellworks such as Walmart have fared well over the number of just decades now. But even Walmart, I mean, you follow the news here, and you certainly follow retail. Those entities, Targets, all of those in there, Target, Walmart, the retail sector in general, even Amazon, facing some headwinds there. People are just not spending as much, and they've got bloated inventory in their stores and in their warehouses, and so there's just a lot going on, even within that segment. But if you have a higher price, particularly during this time, that's why I'm watching Tonal closely. And now they've got a price increase to see where that's going. But I would also argue, again, from a target marketing standpoint, within their very tightly refined market, again, of elite athletes, you're talking about Division I sports teams, particularly those that are well-funded and have budgets that would be able to afford this type of technology. And certainly professional sports, yes, they will have the budgets, they will have it all there, and they've got, again, the peer reinforcement of professional athletes, from hockey, within hockey, all the way to basketball, to golf. They've highlighted all those type of profiles of individuals who have spoken on behalf of Tonal and been featured in their advertising. And so within that tight segment, particularly professional sports, high-level collegiate sports, even some high school sports, there's going to be some programs across the country that will have the budgets to be able to afford these for their athletic training and their athletic training facilities. And so within those segments, the price, the current price and all the extra fees and all of that have been no problem. And even with the price increase, it won't be a problem. As much of a problem, I should say, just to kind of give a little balance to that. Shouldn't be as much of a problem. Versus, again, the elite versus the everyday person. So pricing and how pricing, if it's tiered or not, particularly during challenging economic times, can certainly have a pretty big impact on sales and revenues. And there's all different types of sectors in this country that are experiencing that right now. So look forward to following that closely and saying where things go. But folks, that is all I have for this episode. You can see, trying to highlight some things that I typically wouldn't cover, so you can see. You have everything from a blood donation company that is really followed up with me, and that's a big part. Particularly you're talking about impacting consumer behavior, in my case, donor behavior. You want to continue to encourage me to donate whenever I can, or whomever the person is. All right, continual reminders, particularly even from a sales standpoint. Just the follow-up is so important. If you give someone one message or they do something one time, it's so important to build a relationship with that person, to have regular communication, asking them to do something, to join your gym, to buy this, to buy that, to donate blood, to donate to whatever university it may be. That communication piece and consistent communication piece is so important, because someone may not be ready to do something, may not be ready to join your gym today or sign up for a product or service or upgrade or something else. But at some point in the future, and that way if you have consistent communication, you're consistently asking, there may be a day where they open up that email or open up the mobile messages or walk through your doors or receive a phone call, whatever the case may be, or see a direct mail piece, see you on social media and say, yeah, today's the day. Yeah, I'm moving forward with that, because you'll be top of mind. That is so important, but so many different aspects of marketing to cover. So I wanted to give you some examples and included the hypnotherapist as well, because you have all types of individuals operating within this ecosystem, trying to help individuals achieve their goals. So I wanted to highlight even that one as well. So folks, that is all I have for you today. After summer hiatus, I'm going to come back to filming with a couple of episodes on fitness trends, hot topics. Then we're going to delve on into the power of decisions. The power of decisions. That's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a very challenging series, I assure you, because we have to think about the decisions that we make, the hard decisions, the easy decisions, the popular decisions, the not so popular decisions, but certainly from a leadership perspective. You know, I'm passionate about leadership, passionate about unleashing the leadership potential in others. And so decision making is so important. And we can't be afraid to make any type of decision, but certainly the tough decisions. Got to be willing. We got to have the confidence to do so. So we're going to talk more about that, especially vulnerability and how that relates to leadership and decision making. That is so important as well. Confidence. Can't wait. But until then, folks, you know I'm always going to have some filler episodes in to continue this fitness journey, this fitness, health, and wellness content. Moving forward, not going to leave you hanging, but I look forward to seeing you again on the other side of hiatus. But until then, always remember, I am positively passionate about your fitness, success, and leadership. Make it a great day.